Hello and welcome back. As we continue moving forward with working with Linux and our projects, our next project is to install the Apache web server onto LNX. The Apache web server is really popular, very popular web server. It's one of the things that initially put Linux on the map. In the early days of the internet, very popular to see, and I'm repeating myself, very popular, but the Apache web server and the packages that often go with it are incredibly common in our industry. Now, to get ready to do that, we've got some pre-installed checks to do here. The same things we've talked about in other videos. You want to be sure that your server is healthy before you start adding new workloads to it. So I'm going to ask that you verify, troubleshoot, if needed, your IPv4, IPv6 connectivity, any pending updates, take care of those. Now, the thing that's new, so I'm going to go ahead and check those off. If you need to take care of those, and you could just pause the video and take care of those and then join me back. Okay, the thing that's new is we need to go into the DNS that we created in our earlier project, and we need to add some new records to it. Our goal is to get the server, once we're done installing Apache, our goal is to get the server to answer for www.dev.yourstate.bobstaco.com. That's our goal. I think some things are easier to show than explain. So let's jump over into LNX and take a look at what those records look like and talk just briefly about that. The way that DNS is handled is a little bit different on Linux than it is in Windows. And you know how two people can read the same set of instructions towards a goal, and yet they can implement it in two different ways? And that's what you're going to see here. In a Windows environment with Windows DNS, if we needed to create a record for www.dev.ak.bobstaco.com, we could easily make an association. We could do that. Microsoft DNS is more liberal in how it allows you to do aliases or CNAMEs. Linux DNS is not as flexible, and so to solve the issue, we have to do a couple of different records. So we've got these bogus records from our earlier project, and we've got our test record. So those are from our earlier project, but the one that we're interested in here that I want to draw your attention to and use as an example is these three. So we've got www, we've got then an A record and a quad A record for our LNX host. Now in Windows we wouldn't need to do this, because so what we're saying here is that we've created two records of lnx.dev.ak.bobstaco.com, and that was necessary in order to create this. Do you remember that this server is responsible for dev.ak.bobstaco.com, and so that's the correct zone where we would put the www record. Well, if you just go to create that and you attempt to link it to lnx.ak.bobstaco.com, the existing host name, the Linux DNS is going to have trouble with that because the parent domain, the ak.bobstaco.com, is on a different server. And so the solution, now this really isn't bending the rules, it's just a different way to interpret the rules. The solution then is to go ahead and create an A record and a quad A record for a host lnx.dev.ak.bobstaco.com, and then to create an alias, a CNAME record for it. I won't belabor the point, it's just a little bit different, but I wanted to let you see what those records look like, and I went ahead and created those as a precondition so that once I've got the web server installed, then I can test it by just calling www.dev.ak.bobstaco.com, and that is again the end result. So let me just write that out one more time. Our goal is that the web server we're creating will answer for www.dev.yourstate.bobstaco.com. Okay, so we're good with that. So if we come back to our checklist, then we'll just keep working our way through. Got that, got that, got that. So now I'm to the testing part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test from somebody on CorpNet and somebody on DevNet. Let me get set up for that. All right, so let's take a look at what that looks like. So I'm over on server 1, and using NSLOOKUP, I just issue the command right here, www.dev.ak.bobsocko.com, and it's using DC1 here for DNS, and then DC1 has a delegation to DNS running on LNX, and so it's actually LNX that's going to provide the answer. And it comes back, and the end result is what I'm after, is that I get my LNX IPv4 and IPv6 address, and it tells me that it's an alias. Okay. All right, so that looks good. That looks good. That means that I'm going to be able to resolve www.dev.ak.bobsocko.com from CorpNet. Okay, so we head over to, I chose Windows 11, which is still on DevNet, and my Windows 11 is still using DC1 for its DNS. We had the option in an earlier project, you could set this up to point to LNX for DNS, but this one's currently set to DC1. And same thing, I ask for the name, and it comes back, and the end result is this, that when I ask for the name, that I get a reply indicating both the IPv4 address and the IPv6 address for LNX. So that's good. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to snapshot, and I think we have enough time in the video to go ahead and do the install. So let me snapshot, and I'll meet you back over on LNX, and let's go through the install for Apache. So we're back over here on LNX, and we're going to follow a very similar path to what we did when we installed DNS. We're going to go into Software Management in YaST, and we're going to go to Patterns, and we're going to scroll down to the server category, and we're going to find Web and LAMP. And the reason that you see LAMP is an acronym for Linux, Apache, MySQL, which is a database, and then PHP, which is a popular web programming language. When you install Apache onto most any Linux distribution, it will be packaged like this. It'll be a LAMP, it'll be LAMP, it'll be all of those put together, because that's kind of the, I guess you'd say, a platform for a web server. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and while it's doing it, I'll just tell you a little bit about it. When you install Apache like we're doing, it installs it command line only. In other words, it doesn't give us the YaST tools for it. So when we're done here, we will have it installed, but we won't have any YaST tools, and so we have to do another install for the YaST tools. So what I've done here is I've gone back and I've added some notes here to show you that the two things that we need to install. So we've already done this. We just did that just now. But as I mentioned, even if you reboot the server or whatever, you're not going to get the tools in YaST to manage the web server. So what we need to do is we need to go back into software management in YaST and add this. And so you can search on this. Now, this isn't going to be under patterns. Let me demonstrate this for you. So you come back in here to YaST. I know I'm kind of like clicking the video on and off, just trying to help be efficient with your time. And where before we were over here under view and we went to patterns, this time we just go to search and we just type that in, YaST2. You say, well, what is YaST2? YaST2 is graphical YaST versus the original YaST, which was command line. You think, well, that's kind of odd, but that's true. The original YaST was command line, and so from a command line environment, you could do a lot of these same things. You could invoke installations and do a lot of stuff, where YaST2 is the graphical implementation of YaST. You think, well, what does YaST stand for? It stands for Yet Another Software Tool. Yeah, I know, it's pretty cool. So what we do is we do a search on this, and then you're probably thinking, well, Randy, how did you know to search on that? Let's go ahead and get it installed, and I'll tell you. That was pretty quick. The way that I knew to search on it is there's a link in Canvas, and let's go there. So here we are in Canvas, and we're in this week's projects. Okay, week 9, and we come down here, and these are videos that I'm creating now. But you come down here, and there's the documentation for HTTPD. And this is everything that you would ever need to know about installing Apache. And it was in here that it told me, it said that when Apache installs, it installs command line only. And if you want the graphical tools, it gave me a link out of these notes here that took me over to in YaST, you need to add this other package. So this is the nature of Linux. Now, Linux is different. I was going to say it's like learning another language, but it's more than just learning another language. It's like a culture. The idea of that you've got a computing environment that you can tweak and work with down to the minute details. It's a different roadmap for computing. It's a different mindset. It's yeah, you think about, I guess we'll call it consumer computing. Consumer computing is maybe we'll call it a computing appliance. That's an oversimplification because there's a wealth of configurations in other operating systems. But in Linux, it is like Legos in that you've got all these pieces that you can put together to build whatever you want. But it's up to you. So let's just do a simple analogy here. Do you want to go to the store and buy a pre-built car, a toy car, or do you want to have a box of Legos and build the car yourself? Linux is like the box of Legos where you put the car together the way that you want it, the color you want it, the size you want it, the features you want, but it comes at a price. You have to think it through. You have to be able to work with the technology. Having installed that second module, it now shows up here. Now, I want to show you one other thing, and that we showed you this with DNS. Oh, yeah, did we test here? I think we did. If we didn't, okay, here's the test. The other thing that I want to show you is I want to show you how you can restart the web server like you restarted the DNS server from the command line without having to reboot your LNX box. Let me get set up for that. So if we jump over here, here's the command. It's start or restart or stop. We could put stop in there too. Those are options that you would do. So it's service. I know I'm tempted to put services, but it's service and then the name of the service or daemon, Apache 2, and then what do you want it to do? Start, restart, or stop. So let's go give that a try. Okay, so it started it or restarted it. Now the last thing that we want to do is we want to test and see if the website will answer. So let's get set up for that. I jumped the gun. We haven't gone through the wizard yet. So let's go and run through the wizard. The wizard on this one is really brief, and I think we'll still have time to run the wizard and to test the website. Okay, port 80, it is much more difficult to install a certificate and do port 443 on Apache than it is on IIS. Just mention that. So we're just going to run it as HTTP. For our firewall profile, it's in public zone, and we'll want to verify that. I showed you how to do that earlier, how to go into the firewall, go to the public zone, and verify that the Apache, well, we'll do it. Okay. So we do that. If you wish to enable these features, these different ways that you can program or enter content into your website, we're doing a simple install, so we'll skip those. But notice how cool is this? PHP, Perl, and Python. By checking those boxes, you would enable those. Okay. The important thing to note on this page is the location of where the web page, the default web page resides. So /srv/www/htdocs. Okay. This is blank, but this gives you the ability to do virtual hosts. And Apache had this figured out before Microsoft IIS did. And what it is, it's a way for one web server to host multiple websites for different companies using a technology called host header redirection. So all that has to be different is that the web request being presented to the server has to have a unique request in it, like www. In our case, dev.ak.bobstaco.com. That would be one. And then if we We could host something else like www.sailing. Some other domain. And it's done through host header redirection as opposed to having to give every website its own IP address. Have you ever wondered how web servers do that, how they can host multiple websites on a single IP address? It's because the name that's being redirected there is unique, and that's referred to as a host header redirection. Okay. After rebooting, what do we want? Just like on DNS, we want this to start, and then we click finish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this finish, and I'm going to go and do my bash thing again, and then we'll test. So we'll be ready to test now. So this time, instead of start, I did a restart, and now let's go and see if we can get a web page to open up. So what I did here was I went for localhost first because that's the loop back. You remember when we ran through the wizard just a moment ago, in the list there was 127.0.0.1. And so I referenced that. And this is the answering page for Apache, for this version of Apache. It says it works. And this is a big deal. I know it's a simple it works, but it's a big deal in that you've got it running. You got it installed, you got it running. I went ahead and was bold here, and I went to www. And it also answered, which tells me DNS is good. So this is awesome. The only other thing that we want to do is we want to test from other clients. And so I'll get it set up to do that. So over here, we're on server 1, and I just jumped right into it. I just went to www. Okay, you get that, right? And it answered. And again, it's not secure because we did not add a certificate. Let's jump over to somebody over on DevNet and see how it works over there. So over here on DevNet, we're good too. So let's do one last thing, and then we'll wrap up the video. I like us to keep the big picture in mind, to step back. What I don't want is I don't want you just following the video in kind of a step 1, step 2, step 3. I want you to think it through. So let's just review what we did, and then we'll wrap this up. So we've installed the DNS over here. And we created that zone for dev, a child of our primary DNS. That's the wrong term. Our parent DNS is over here, and then this is hosting the dev child from that. We've now installed Apache, and we've made it so that www.dev that resolves. And then we tested. I tested from Windows 11 and everything looked good. I tested from server 1 and everything looked good. We'll do a little bit more work with this, but hey, awesome. Now, we're not putting this on the internet just yet. I'll have to see how much time allows, but right now this is an internal only. So now we have 2 web servers running. We've got IIS running over here on server 1, excuse me. IIS is down here on server 1, and it is available to the internet, and we have now an internal developer website running on Apache. All right, let me wrap up this video, and good job. I'll see you in the next video.